What's up there, guys? Thank you for tuning in, and today my top 5 reasons why you should be growing your own food. Let's dig in.
It'll make your heart make your garden go.
Welcome to Fanfare for the Conscious, guys. My name's Rick, and you're watching Sustainable City Steading. I've decided to bring a bit of positivity to this panic pandemic by giving you my 5 top reasons why you should be growing your own food today. And we're going to start off with reason number 1, better food. Now, when you grow your own food, one of the big benefits is that it is just generally of better quality. I'm going to break that down into a few quick points for you now. The first one being simply that you know exactly what's going on in your food. You know if there's been any chemical fertilizers used, any chemical pesticides, any chemical herbicides, anything like that. You are completely aware of what's going on in your own food, and if you've, like me, then you're avoiding using as many chemicals as you possibly can and trying to keep everything as natural and organic as you can. Secondly, when you grow your own food, it is going to have a better nutrient content. Now, that is simply based on the fact, and there are numerous scientific studies that back this up. It's simply based on the fact that when you pick some food out of a field, it has a set amount of nutrients in it, and over time that nutrient content is going to start breaking down. It's going to start reducing because the plant itself perceives the cutting action as an attack and starts to destroy the nutrients. It starts to kill itself in the same way that a human body, when it dies, actually death is not a passive process, it's an active process, and your body starts to break itself down over time. So that's the second thing. If you're picking that food straight out of the garden and bringing it right into your kitchen and using it immediately, then you're going to have a much higher nutrient content to your food, and that's generally going to be better for you. And third and finally, from a personal perspective, I think that food that is picked fresh tastes so much better. I'm not sure if you've ever had the experience of taking a carrot out of the ground, and even when you're just cleaning it, the smell of carrot is like nothing I've ever experienced with a store-bought carrot before in my life. And just generally the flavors and the quality is so much more under your control when you've got that available to you in your own garden. Reason number 2, and that's very pertinent in the current circumstances, is that you're less dependent on the food supply chain. So you've probably noticed with the current crazy situation that's going on that it's been more and more difficult to get food in the supermarkets, particularly things like beans and pulses and tin products. Now, beans are a really important crop that you can be growing in your own gardens to supplement that lack that you're finding in the stores. But also what you're going to start noticing over the coming weeks is a supply chain shock, which is because people have been panic buying a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables that the farmers are now struggling to keep up with it, and that means they've got to harvest crops earlier than they normally would. So you're going to find that the fruit and vegetables that does arrive in your supermarket now is going to be of not only lower quality, but it's also going to start getting smaller. And again, being independent of that supply chain means that you don't notice that hit as much because you've got a source of fresh fruit and veggies in your own gardens. And my third reason today why you should be growing your own food is an improvement in mental health. Studies have shown that tending to a garden, having that sort of creative outlet, particularly in a situation where we're not allowed to leave our homes, is really important for maintaining your mental health. Being that action of doing small focused activities that are fairly simple, allow you to, a lot of people find it quite meditative. I know I do myself. Aside from that, you're also coming on to point number 4, is getting some exercise. Once again, people not able to go out, not able to do the activities that we normally do, and taking time to prepare, to build and landscape your own garden so that you've got space to grow those veggies is going to provide you with an awful lot of exercise. If you just have a look at what I've got behind me. There's so much lugging about of wood that I've been doing, and digging up, and I mean, you don't have to take it to that route, but I'm quite happy for the extra little bit of effort to go in to make it look the way I want it to. But yeah, a little bit of exercise, light exercise, is really important for your health, and particularly in the current circumstances. Another great reason for you guys to be getting out in your gardens today and trying to do something productive. And my top reason number 5 why you should be growing your own food today, is to help reduce pollution. Once again, this is sort of to tie everything back together on itself, I suppose. When you're not so reliant on the food chain itself, then you're not creating a demand for products to be delivered to the supermarket. A little side note of that, if you lower demand, then you actually lower prices, at least initially, because that's how supply and demand works. Lower demand means the supplier can't charge as high of a premium for the same product. So, little side note, you're saving a little bit of money there, because when you do need to buy food, which you're buying less of because you're growing it, the little things that you do actually want to go and buy in the supermarket, you'll find that they're actually at a lower cost because there's not as high a demand for it. I mean, this is presuming that lots of people go out and start growing veggies and fruits in their own gardens, but that's basically how supply and demand works. But yeah, back to being dependent on the supply chain, my reason number 5 is a reduction in pollution. If you're not so dependent on the supply chain, then there is not a demand for your products to be hauled to the shops, and that is less trucks on the road, which means less pollution. You're not having to travel to the shops as much to collect food yourself, to purchase it, because you've got it growing in situ, and also because there's lower demand, there's also going to be less farms that need to be running in a high intensity capacity, which means less chemical pollution into the soil, which means less biodiversity degradation by having more polycultural areas rather than mass fields of monoculture, and would allow more rewilding of the British countryside. So all in all, I can't think of one good reason why you shouldn't be out there in your own gardens right now, making the space to grow a little bit of food. That's exactly what I'm doing here on this channel. I would love you guys to follow along with me over the next few weeks as I show you what I get up to. I am by no means an expert. This is going to be a learning experience for me. Any advice, any experiences that you guys have that you want to share, I would love you to drop that down in the comment section below. If you like this video, please press the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, then please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Quick shout out to a couple of YouTube channels which I'll provide links for around, so you can get some information and learn how to start growing your own food. Would be Am I Gardener? That's a guy called Luke. Please check out his channel, links in the description below. And Self-Sufficient Me is a guy called Mark, and he's from Australia, and wonderful wealth of knowledge and a great character. Again, his links down in the description below. If you've enjoyed watching this, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Goodbye.